Guys, I'm live. Might be 1 minute early, but it's getting a bit closer. Give us your question. Just getting the laptop set up as well, so that I can do a bit of moderating because Andy's not around today. Let's get this set up. Got one person online already. Someone else like me decided to get in early. Let's try and get this camera a little bit. I think that's a bit better. You get a bit more of me. There's loads of you online already. Let me just get this moving. Paul Warburton, hi. Hello, mate. Chris Welch, hi, Ray. How you doing, pal? Chris, I'm absolutely fantastic. Thoughts on City YouTube beef, Sempre Libre? There's no beef from me, mate. One day, maybe, a bit more of the truth will come out. And I think I'll say a little bit because there's no one else asking questions. It's disappointing that unexpected. Hi, Chris, I'm doing well. It's disappointed and unexpected, actually, on something like social media, like Twitter, Facebook, whatever. A lot of people say something, people believe it's true. It doesn't have to be true, okay? There's a lot of things taken out of context, some lies. When people write things, you think, hang on, that's just not true. And it doesn't matter whatever you say about it, people, if they don't want to believe it, they'll never believe it. So what's the point of fighting it? You're never going to win a battle like that, let's, in all honesty. Where's the web on blue? Yeah, you're not going to win a battle like that when someone's got, whatever, 20, 30,000 followers on Twitter and you've got 2,000 or 3,000. And it ends up the people who actually speak with some clarity are shouted down if they're having opposing opinion. So I don't think there's any benefit really fighting about it anymore and arguing. Whatever my honest opinions are out there. I've not been abusive to anybody. I've been abused quite a lot. You guys have probably seen that. Shia, Muhammad Ali, hello, how you doing, mate? So let's move on for the time being. You know, I'm sure once people calm down and accept some things are the truth, you've got to accept it. Where's Web on Blooming Forum says the expansion is being shelved. The club think that they won't be able to sell at the stadium. I've said that before. Tom Carter, if you send that again, sorry, Aguero best striker in the world, it's got to be up there. I'll have a quick swig of this. I'm not sure it's going to be shelved, but the club obviously know a lot more than us. And I've said it before, that sometimes we are struggling to fill our stadium. And that's got to be an issue. Why would you spend millions of pounds more to redevelop the stadium if you're not going to fill those extra seats? We've seen some of the Champions League games, we might have 30-odd thousand. I think it gets Burton in the League Cup, we have 32,000. What are you drinking with? I'm drinking coffee. Decaffeinated. It's probably caffeinated. I normally drink mostly decaffeinated coffee during the day, but I've got a bit of headache coming on because I've not had anything to eat today. So just been rushing around. All I've had is a banana. Sempre Libre, what do you think, mate? I've just I'll chat about that in a minute. Hi Ray, hi. Have you heard of the video game Rayman? Yes, I heard of the video game Rayman. Off the top of my head, that's got to be going back best part of, what, 15, 20 years? I think it was on Sega. Shah Muhammad Ali. Mogadishu Mafia. Is that you, Shah Muhammad? What did you work at Simply? Well, this morning, it was mostly cardio. I ran 5.5 miles. That's to the gym. I run 2 3/4 miles to the gym, 2 3/4 miles back. No worries, Shah Muhammad. And I did a light shoulder workout. Don't want to work too hard. My aim is at the moment, Shah Mohammed, well done, mate. Thanks for that. My aim at the moment is to lose some weight. I've let my weight get extravagantly high. I need to lose at least 6 kg, 8 kg maybe within the next few months. It's not so difficult as long as you do the exercise and control your weight. I haven't done much exercise in the last 10 years because the weather's been terrible. Why are the clubs jealous about us? Is this because we're the best in the world? Emran King, I think you hit the nail on the head, mate. It's because City, you know, I said this last season when there's a lot of rubbish written about City from fans and the media, that they couldn't compete with us on the pitch. So they have to They can't compete on the pitch, so they have to make stuff up and have a go off the pitch. Who cares? End of the day, we'll look back and say, what matters? We won trophies. We won 2 trophies last season. We scored over 100 league goals. We got 100 points, first time ever. That's what matters. It's not that some idiots at TalkSport or at Sky or The Sun or some fans from other clubs have a pop at us, because that's all they can do. They attack us for off the pitch things because they can't beat us on the pitch. This season, if it wasn't for Liverpool, let's be quite honest, if it wasn't for Liverpool maintaining that title challenge and Spurs dropping away, would have been well clear again. Iona Beats, hi Ray, hi guys. I'm just going to stick on my thing here. Got to keep working it at the same time. Just turn the volume off there, so I can at least monitor anybody. But to be honest, these days we get decent folk. 143 goals last season in all competitions, I think. Yeah. I mean, I think it was 106 in the league, 103, I can't remember. But we're going to beat last season's already. I think we're on 127 already this season. Exactly, it's what I wanted to talk about. I ran 10 miles this morning. I always do every morning. Well done, Chris. Wish I could do 10 miles every day. Man City champions. Yeah, Shah Mohammed. I just haven't got... I mean, the weather's been terrible. I'm not a fair weather runner, but in some of that weather recently, I just couldn't go out running. And my wife's away at the moment, so I can't run in the mornings and leave my kids alone. True Geordie, Matt Goldbridge went, stuff for my Iona Beats. You know? True Geordie, look, let's be quite honest. A lot of YouTube channels, they've got a formula, okay? And the formula is to be dramatic, to be outrageous, because they want people to view their channels so they can make money. That's it. I would suggest well over 95% of YouTube channels, that's what they're in it for. Doctor, Champions League, just a bonus, Premier League, more, absolutely. Raise the green-eyed monster, a disease, and do other supporters need help, Philip Dean. Look, you know, as I said earlier, you can't beat us on the pitch. You've got to attack us off the pitch because you can't win trophies yourself. When will the stadium expansion start? Will it be in the family stand? Well, it has to be in the family stand, Chris, if it's because that's the next part that needs expanding. But we just don't know when. Do you think Ollie Solskjaer is overrated? He's had an up and down. You know, he started really well, but he's had some easy games, and the players who are good players played for him. They weren't playing for Jose, so obviously he had a good start. Iona Beats, they know most of their audience are fans from the old school, elite. Yeah, look, I mean, I don't mind talking about this, Iona. Is it true Stones and Delphi? Yeah, they're not that injured. I think it's just a precaution from City's point of view. You say you got a little niggle, you get withdrawn, you got 2 weeks to fully recover. True Geordie, the Green Monster. Well, look, as I said, a lot of YouTube channels, they're in it for one sole purpose, or two sometimes. A bit of notoriety. Shah Mohammed, thank you, no worries, so you're welcome. They're in it for notoriety, and that notoriety makes them money, makes people watch. And that's all they're in it for. If we have a transfer, when will it start, Ray? Philip Dean, absolutely no idea if we're going to get one and when it'll start. Do you ever go to Wimbledon? What's your favourite restaurant? Well, there's not many restaurants left that I used to go for when I was a kid. I'll talk about that simply. What I respect most about you, Andy, I'm not Andy, I'm Ray. You won't sell out yet. Look, I mean, I'll talk about these things. I'll quickly mention Sam Praliba's question. I go to Sanam if I want a nice sit-down meal, and Sajjan if I want kebabs and you know, that kind of thing, a kebab sandwich. And Ambala's very nice for Ambala is very, very nice for pakori because they're very light. Yeah, cheers that AK. No, Ambala, I mean, I will say this, you go to places that have onion bhajis and they're very, very heavy because they don't have actually as much vegetables as in onion or potato inside. It's mostly the batter, which is, it's not very good for you. But Ambala pakori, very, very thin, light batter, beautiful. That's in my opinion. So as I said, a lot of YouTube channels, you know, Arsenal Fan TV, AFC TV, most of these, they're in it for money. That's it. So they've got to be outrageous. They've got to be controversial because otherwise people won't watch. Can you predict the remaining top team for the season? Absolutely no idea, mate. I hope that, well, It'd be nice if Spurs drop out. That'd be really funny because they've just got this new stadium. They need that money from the Champions League to help pay for their stadium, and it's going to cause them a lot of issues. It might mean Poch leaves and he goes to someone like Man United, because if they don't make Champions League this season, he knows it's going to be a struggle next season because he's not going to have the money to buy players, especially if they don't make the Champions League. They're not going to have that 30, 40, 50 million quid. Jam Ham in blue, absolutely. So as I said, these YouTube channels, they need to be outrageous, they need to be controversial, they need some notoriety, because that's what gets people watching, that's what gets views. Now, we've said it before, we don't ask you for a penny. I think Tottenham will drop out of the top 4, Chris, I hope so. We don't ask for a penny. And I've said this, I mean, it's no big deal. We don't even monetize our YouTube account. Okay, because we're not in it for the money. And I feel if you're in it for the money, you can lose your values, you can lose your standards. We've turned down so many sponsorship opportunities from companies that we didn't want their sponsorship. For example, for either ethical or moral reasons, we don't want their sponsorship, so we turn them down. We're not after looking to be fan reps, you know, and the face of Man City fans. We're absolutely not. And I've told this story many times. I actually never expected to be doing videos for you guys. You know, I got money from going PLC and Newcastle and PLC. Yeah, absolutely. I have big respect for this channel. Cheers, I know beats. Look, when we started this channel, I said, I'll buy a camera and I'll do the videos. Arsenal TV had 20 adverts breaks on the troops. There you go. See, I said what I will do is I will shoot the video, but I don't want to be on screen. And it just happened that a guy who was supposed to helping us, who was going to be on screen for the Southampton game at the end of last season, he didn't go. He let us down a few days before the game, and I ended up going on my own. Well, if you're on your own, you're going to do the videos yourself. So I ended up doing it, and I've just carried on doing it because it is fun. And when you guys say nice things about us, it is motivational, and it makes you want to do more. So that's why I got involved on this side of the camera rather than behind the scenes. But as I said, we've turned down sponsorship from many different sources. I mean, they struggled last season at Wembley because it's a new ground, and they've been better this season because they're more used to it. So it could really work against them, that pressure in the new ground. So as I said, we've turned down lots and lots of TV opportunities, you know, BBC, Sky, Channel 4, Channel 5, American TV, Brazilian TV, other TVs, turned down lots and lots of other opportunities as well to go on various different YouTube channels because we didn't feel it was right for us. It's not what we wanted. We don't want to go out there, as I said, we're not the fan reps, we're just here providing a platform for fans to have get their opinions across, and you know, for us to give our opinions as well. And it's not there to make money. And as I said, once you go down that route, you start doing videos to make money rather than focusing on your content. And that's what we've always tried to do, is focus on our content and what you guys want to say in here. And as I said, it's not about being controversial. It's not about making money. Who'd win in a fight with you and Stephen? I'll answer that in a minute. So probably. Do you think they should be allowed to change their home ground? Absolutely not, JK. No way should Spurs be allowed to change their ground. They should stick at Wembley for the rest of the season. FA/Premier League, whoever's sanctioning this should hang their heads in shame. They won't. You're only allowed one ground in a season, and I think you can have another ground for a few games, but not the full season. Absolutely not. So I'm Praliba, I'm not, I've said this before, I'm a lover, not a fighter. You know, I'm not in for fighting. Well, if, you know, I'm a peace lover. I don't want to be involved in fisticuffs. If I want any aggression and want any of that stuff, I go down the gym. I can do that down the gym, obviously, lifting weights, doing my Muay Thai boxing or Jiu-Jitsu or whatever. Or mixed martial arts if I ever get down to doing that again. That's where you can fight. I think Tottenham should wait until next season to play new season. Absolutely, Chris. Me too. How much would you make per advert? So we have absolutely no idea because we don't advertise. We don't accept it. See what's on the True Geordie. Well, there you go. I mean, you've seen what the True Geordie is like. I'm not going to have a pop at Stephen. This is not what I'm here for. You see what the True Geordie is like. He's got to be, as I said, I'll say it again, controversial, outspoken, loud mouth, full of, you know, language that I've left behind. You know, I've got to say, when we grew up, that was In the kind of, I'm sure Andy was the same. In the areas we grew up around Manchester, that was the way we spoke. We're adults now. Left that behind. For what I said yesterday, no City fan would go on that show. No City fan should go on that show. No City fan should watch his videos. That's my opinion. But everybody has their own choice. But they will. They won't stop. What did he say? He was very jealous of the fact that City got the money from the Sheikh. He absolutely lambasted us and then said we can go out. If Pep has a bad season or fails, he can just go out and spend another 200 million. Well, go and look what Klopp spent in the last 4 years. It's about 400 million. And for Mendy, not yet. He's got another season, Phil. And look what United are spending every year. Look what Newcastle spent when they were one of the biggest spenders. I bet he never said anything then. It's a lot to do with jealousy, and he admitted it. He's jealous that City got the Sheikh and not Newcastle. The Man City match for over the next 2 weeks just made it boring. Yeah, it's tough work, Doctor. Chris Welch, who Geordie loves living in the past. Exactly. There was a graphic. Some people with thoughts on the job Cheeky's doing. He gets slated a lot on social media. He gets slated on social media, usually by kids and keyboard warriors and ignorant people who don't know any better. It's like saying, I've seen comments that Pep should be starting Phil Foden. Who the hell are these people who criticise Pep and say Pep is doing something wrong by not playing Phil Foden? Who the hell are they? Who do they think they are? They're not City reps, or they pretend to be. They're just big-mouthed idiots. Because for what Pep's done, you've got to accept what he's doing and the decisions he makes. You know, you've got to support your manager. And I support my manager 100%. Occasionally, I'll come out and say, I think he made a mistake. You know, I think sometimes, like starting with Mahrez at the weekend, I think that was an error. I'm entitled to that, that's my opinion. But to come out and say, as if you're some knowledgeable person, that Pep is making a mistake by not playing Foden, sorry, mate, you're an idiot. Whoever says that, trust in Pep, absolutely. You know, the first season Pep was here, I was a little bit critical because we had no plan B. Word up, AK. We had no, we'd say, plan B, or when things were going wrong, he wasn't changing things to stop that happening. I was critical then, and I think reasonably so. I'm Chris Welch, jealous City doing right now, but bang on about your credit. Yeah, look, City are a fabulously well-run club. You know, when the shitman sewer came, people just made fun of us. Nearly every investment City have made on players have doubled. You're Sterling for it now. Sterling's worth tons of money, and the Liverpool fans laughed at us. My nan went mental when he got rid of Joe. Me too. I loved Joe Hart. Absolutely loved him, and it was really sad. But Pep was right. We have to trust. I love Pep, but wish he'd promote you. Yeah, the problem with promoting youth, we'll come back to True Geordie in a minute, Mark, if you can repeat that question. The problem with promoting youth is, especially for managers, exactly, Mike, not worried about Phil. The problem with promoting youth is this day and age, you've got to win. You look at Sarri at the moment. He looks like he could be out of his a job in the next few weeks. Now, why does he want to promote youth and take a risk? He has to be really sure that youth is going to come off. If it doesn't come off, he could be out of a job, and he could be out of a job anyway. So managers are going to be risk averse. They don't want to take the risk of putting new kids in who fail, lose games, get sacked. That you don't want. So they try and pick and choose the games. Like Phil Foden this season has had a lot more minutes than he got last season. And I think next season he'll get more minutes than he got this season. And he's gradually being developed. Look at someone like Wayne Rooney came through at 16, 17, and we felt he was kind of washed up in his late 20s. He's still a very, very good player, but not a top level player and not an elite level player. So sometimes you can play too many games, and you don't want Phil Foden washed up in his mid-20s. No wonder Sancho went to the German league. I don't think Sancho's garbage. I think he's a good player. Correct me if wrong, give City, I missed that. You need to take it slow when you speak. If that's what you said, I can't, because these messages come in so quick. Sarri should be given till the end of the season at least. I think Sarri should get another season. At some point, Chelsea have got to have some stability. Got to trust in the managers that they're appointing. I mean, if they don't trust them, why are they appointing them? I'll try and speak slowly for you guys. If you keep your messages short, because when messages like this one, it's way too long. Yeah, but when we're up there by 3 goals, you could. Yeah, I agree with that. Some people thoughts on Sarri's 25k. It's his money. He can spend it the way he likes. When I I won't tell you what I used to do, but when I had a good job and I had my own business, is doing well, I spent my money the way I liked. No one criticised me for spending my money. Got the odd person saying, they might criticise someone's style, fine, but don't criticise him spending the money, okay? Don't, and it's like when I say something, yeah, he earns it, exactly, and he's paid it, he earns it, he pays his tax, he can spend it the way he likes. Sanchez is average, but the league is garbage. Sanchez, which Sanchez, Phil? Chelsea could win the Europa League this season and their fans would want... Yeah, I don't think their fans would want him to stay. Their fans are used to success and they want that success, and Europa League in their books isn't success. The only success is Champions League or the Premier League in Chelsea fans' books. What's the most you've ever spent on clothing, Son Praliba? And I have to think about that. I did... I've got... I'm not going to tell you how much I spent. But about 13, 14 years ago, I bought a Dunhill suit. And you can go and check online how much you think that might have cost. Mark Grobridge comes from Nottingham. How plastic is that? Hey, there's so many people who come from one place and support another team. Whether you call it plastic or not, I'd say it's very hard to judge, but try and go and, if you support a team and you live in another country, for instance, we've got a lot of American friends who support City, at least try and go to a game. And that makes you more of a fan, less of a plastic, so to say. But yeah, try and go to games. Will we go in for Hazard? I really doubt it, Phil. We went for him before. He is a tremendously talented, exciting player. I think he'll go probably to Real Madrid. Doctor, it's far too long a message. Goldbridge just messed himself. Jealousy if we clinch title, Champions League, blah, blah, blah. Quadruple always possible. Yeah, anything's possible. We could just end... It's still possible that we walk away with just a Carabao Cup this season. And Pep has the same trophies after 3 seasons as Manuel Pellegrini. Guilty City fan till I die. Absolutely, mate. Mark the Blue. Which players do you miss the most at City? I'm old school. I miss people like... Kinkladze, love Kinkladze, Nasri I miss, Levin Carlisle and Liverpool. Nothing wrong with that, Chris. It's excellent if you live miles away and still go every day. AFT going to Dubai this week. Look, AFTV make an absolute shed load of money. I used to watch it 4 or 5 years ago, whenever, within a year or two of it starting. It was very entertaining. I find it entertaining. Sean Gota, gotta get your name right. Bolitho. Gotta get your name right. How are you feeling about the game congestion? Yeah, I think we've got 9 games in April. It's going to be tight, but I think it's better to be in the competitions than not. Ian Bishop, yeah, he's a great player, Mark. Iona Beats, what a legend, yeah. I hope you're talking about Ian Bishop and not me. Phil Dean, thought Nasri was brilliant. I love Nasri. I've got a shirt, black. I was thinking of wearing that today, actually. Black and red striped shirts with Nasri on the back. Love the guy. And shame he had, I think, emotional problems from a breakdown of a relationship, and that sent him off the rails a bit. Bet atmosphere, City fans. I mean, the Liverpool game this year, I mean, that has to be really, really up there with anything. Robbie's a millionaire. I'm not sure he's a millionaire, but he's doing very well for himself. Yeah, Nasri Silva, wow. Yeah, Balotelli, why always me? I'm not sure Robbie's a millionaire. That's just the accountant in me speaking. I just got an inkling of what he was doing before Arsenal Fan TV, and got a rough idea what kind of salary those in his profession he'd be making. He's doing really well, Arsenal Fan TV. Look, he's got a formula, and the formula works, and so good luck to him. He's, whether he was in it originally for the content and now he's moved towards the money, but he's still got decent content. But you can see a lot of people who go on AFTV, they feel they've got to become controversial. They feel they've got to F and blind the new people that come along, because the old people did that and they've made a career out of it. Do you think Tom Dale will start training with Pep next season? I think he needs another season before that. I think he's been injured. He needs that. Hammer game was up there. Oh yeah, the Hamburg game. Cheap tickets always works well to get the fans in. But yeah, new people going onto YouTube, they've got to find a niche, and they see people like Troops and Claude and DT. They are very some of them are very aggressive, very outspoken, full of filthy language. Robbie himself steers clear of that, but the others are really like that. And So yes, some people. I'll talk about that in a minute. But about rubbish football on Channel 4. Are you and Andy the only admin? Yep, absolutely. GTR. We're the only admin here, and in fact, I'm on my own today. Did you get me started on DT? Well, look, DT's from Luton. So your ultimate plastic. He's from Luton, supports Arsenal, and I suspect he started supporting Arsenal when they were doing very well, not when they were bobbins. So that's my feeling, and he probably started supporting Arsenal in the, I'm guessing here, in the 90s, late 80s, 90s, guessing on his age. He was probably born in the 70s. Respect to Chris Welch, it's very rare for a Liverpool fan to be respectful. Yep, Mark the Blue. As I said, so you've got all these YouTubers, they've got to find a way to make money. And they've seen DT, they've seen Troops, they've seen Claude and others who have made a name for themselves on Arsenal Fan TV and then set up their own YouTube channels as well. And they're making money and they're getting more than getting by. They're going to games and they're making, some of them are making a living out of this. I don't think Claude does. I think Claude has said that. But some of the others are I've seen DT's channel, you know, advertising shampoo products. I mean, come on. So, I mean, some people have said we do promote on our channel. I think we promoted 4 or 5 things. I like Claude. I actually like Claude. Hi, guys. Andy's here. Yeah, Andy, oh, it was a nice car, Andy. What a great guy. Yeah, buying your kids a car. And he's sitting used today. It's really not much in it. You know, there's a few players who come back and are not playing for England, but there's not really much out there. True fans show up when the club is struggling. City, yeah. Is winning the quad the GOAT sporting achievement? Simply, maybe. I mean, in England, it would be. It's so hard. It's never been done. Should promote sunglasses. I've actually had. Yeah, someone that he's paying for it. Yeah, good. He's paying for it. That's what I wanted to hear. Don't give your kids too much for free. That's my opinion. Make them work for it. Make them earn it. And maybe contribute something. And that's what I tell my kids. You got to earn it. You know, my kid wants a laptop. You're not getting a laptop for now. You're gonna have to work and show me that you deserve it. All it says between the quadruple. FA Cup, are we playing Saturday or Sunday? We haven't, Phil, hasn't been announced. Where it should be the Saturday because we got Spurs on the Tuesday. And if the FA, it's ridiculous that they haven't announced it. If they put it on a Sunday and we've got Spurs on the Tuesday, we should just play the under-16s, Ray Beams. Well, it's been said that someone should be sponsoring me for sunglasses. He wants a corgi, one of those little kit cars. I'm looking around my lad's room to see if he's got a little car. He normally has a few little cars, as all lads do. I'm probably going to stay on till about maximum 10 to. It's got to be the Saturday, okay? It's got to be. As I said, if they try and be ridiculous, I don't know why they can't announce it. I wash my mum's cars for £5 every month. There you go. That's what you should be doing. Once a week for a month for a £5. Fantastic. Go out and earn some money. That's the way to do it. 6 times we will probably go to Wembley this year. I hope so, Phil. Is the Chester Jaws hidden in the wall? No, actually, my wife's asked me to nail that to the wall. We just put that together for my kid. What is Chester not count towards? Depends how you want to look at it. In Spain, it counts. And in Europe, when you win the Super Cup, it counts. To me, it's kind of funny because there's only 2 teams in it. You could argue there's more than 2 teams in it because it relies on what you did the previous season. And actually, more teams can win the Charity Shield than can win anything because in the FA Cup, you've got hundreds or even thousands of teams enter the FA Cup. So, but for me, it feels like a soft trophy. It's first game of the season. No one's really committed to winning that. So it feels a bit soft to me. Come on, guys, let's get over 40 people watching. Should be played end of season. I'm not sure you can play at the end of the season. I think the problem with playing it at the end of the season is people just want to go and move on and do, if you've got international games like the Euros. This summer we've got the Community Shield Pointless. Yeah, we've got that new competition this summer. I forgot its name. And then we've got the World Cup. So every 2 years you got the European Championships or the World Cup, and then this other league as well. So it's impossible to really play it at the end of the season. It's all gone quiet. Gives me a chance to have a drink. Look for a bit of water. Favourite ever City kit? I miss some. I miss all the Umbro kits. I miss them all. Club World Cup maybe as well. Yeah, Nations League. That's the one. I knew I had a league in it. I like this kit, and I'm just going to lift up so you can see. It's a commemorative shirt for us winning the FA Cup in 2011. Brahim Diaz. He might get some more time under Zidane. I mean, he was out of favour with the previous manager. He was on the bench, although he didn't get a game in the last game, Zidane's first game back. And you'd hope for the lad's sake, he's going to get something, you know. At least with City, he was playing in the Carabao Cup games, and he had a chance of playing in the FA Cup games against weak opposition. But he chose to leave. And at Real Madrid, I think he had a few minutes in one game, and was it 12 minutes? He's had very little game time, and I don't think he's featured. He's not been on the pitch for 2 months for Real Madrid. Now, if he'd stayed at City, he'd have played in some more of the cup games. Depends if Bale leaves. I mean, Bale's under a lot of hassle from the fans, but according to his agent, he wants to stay now. You know, if Bale moves away, where's he going to go? That's going to be a step up. I don't think so. City's the quadruple, but Messi is amazing. Best player I've ever seen in my life is Messi, and no question about that. Zidane will love Diaz, both North African. Diaz is from half Moroccan, half Spanish, and Zidane is from Algeria. Do you have another team shirt in your collection, Ray? Yeah. Should clubs be made to play a certain amount of... No, I don't think so, Niall. I think, you know, you shouldn't have categories. You shouldn't force people to do that. Other shirts in my collection, football shirts. Obviously, I've got a lot of French shirts because I lived in France for nearly 10 years. My kids are French, my wife's French. That's only natural. I've got a few England shirts, and I've got Racing Club Lens. Lens in the north of France. Famous for their team. I think their stadium, the stadium at Lens, has more seats than there are people that live in the town. And people come from all over to go and watch them play. A beautiful kit they've got. Absolutely fantastic. What is the homegrown player rule? Wow. Well, we're allowed as many as we want. But basically you're allowed in your squad for the Premier League a maximum of 17 non-homegrown players. Okay, now homegrown players, they don't have to be English, they could be from anywhere, as long as they train for 36 months with a club in, I think it's in England, Scotland, Wales, something like that. Just looking at April fixtures, yeah, 9 in April, I think. And someone like Cesc Fabregas, because he came to Arsenal, I think at 16, he'd done 36 months with them, he counted as homegrown. Will define our season, yeah. Thoughts on City Watch? That fella's got sent to jail, and quite rightly so, apparently from what he was doing. Do you think homegrown players rule is nonsense? No, I think it's a good rule. I really do think it's a good rule, Chris, because it makes it difficult sometimes, but it stops people just getting foreign players, basically, that don't that are not eligible to play for one of the home countries. As I said, but you can still have foreign players. You can have people like Cesc Fabregas. You can have, I think it was Gail Clichy was a homegrown off the top of my head, and they can't play for one of the home countries. But it was there to entice and to help the England team, and I think it has. Well, I wasn't really into the football fanzines, Mark. I mean, I occasionally get King of the Kipax. But really, when I went to games, I think my first game was in the 70s. And when I went to games, I didn't have much spare money to buy fanzines. Some people said I probably couldn't read well enough to buy fanzines, but and I was thinking, was people asking me yesterday, and people have asked me many times, what was my first game? And as I said, I can't remember the first City game I went to. I do remember, I think in 1979, going with my mates from school, talking about Steve Daly, who we just bought. So I suspect my first City game would have been before 1979, because I know I'd been before. But I was 7 or 8 years old, so I can't remember. Have you got fantasy football? Could you make? We actually have a league, Bolt. We actually have a league, we actually have a league, and we did it for free. And this is the kind of stuff we do. The winner will get a shirt, a Man City shirt. It's a champion shirt from last season. So at the end of the season, City had these commemorative champion shirts. We've got a champion shirt. It's been signed by Pep Guardiola. Off the top of my head, we got Pep Guardiola to sign it. We got Bernardo Silva to sign it and Fernandinho to sign it. And so that shirt will go to the winner of our Fantasy League competition this season. It was totally free to enter at the start of the season. We got, I think, 80 odd people joined. And we're going to send that, whoever wins it, wherever they are in the world, they're getting that for free. A free Man City shirt, champion shirt, signed by Pep Guardiola, signed by Fernandinho, signed by Bernardo Silva. Now, I don't think that's a bad price to win, okay? It wasn't a gift. It's not something that we were given for free and that we're offering out there. Paid for that with my own money. It's what we do at our channel. I think it's a nice gesture. It's a bit of fun for everybody. And yeah, we're pleased to offer these competitions for free. Something dodgy. Hey, not dodgy. You know, everybody. Andy's had a very, very good run this year. He's had a very, very good team. And I will say this, and I hope he doesn't mind. It is unusual because Andy usually is bottom of the table. You know, he usually struggles. You know, sometimes forgets to change his team. And obviously, you know, that can cause you problems. I think last year one of my kids won and he knows nothing about football. I think I won or come second a few years ago. I think one of my friends, he had a really bad end to the season. I think I came and won that. Yeah, Andy's put some effort in this year. I wish he'd put effort in the prediction league. Where we have a league where you predict the scores. He's still rubbish at that. Well, the thing is, the league's nearly finished. We stopped taking new people on board because we were worried that people wouldn't. I mean, we just said, look, you've got to be a subscriber to the channel. I think it's only fair to be a subscriber to the channel if we're offering this free prize. And what we didn't want was people joining the league late in the season who were not subscribers just because they'd got good points, and they might not even be City fans. They might not be interested in the channel. They might hear about this competition and just join just to win if they're doing really well. Yeah, Andy and me met on the internet from Match.com. If you're watching the live stream yesterday, Match.com gets people together, and you got Andy and me together. My first game was a player final in '99, Iona Beach. Wow, what a first game to go to. I think I said yesterday, I was chatting to somebody last week, a City fan from the States, and I was telling him 2 days after I got married, I took my new wife to her first City game. It was against Middlesbrough at Etihad Stadium. We won 1-0 on a cold October night, and it was rubbish. But I told my wife, said my wife's French, my wife's first live football game was the World Cup semi-final in France in 1998. Her second football game was the World Cup final in 1998. I don't think you can really beat those two games. And then the third game was at City 1. Some would say glory unto if that's your first game. I don't know. I mean, you can be following City, but hey, look, what if you don't live in London? You know, I've got a friend who came from America to watch a game. He's been following City for over 10 years. And he's only been to a few games, but, you know, it depends on money and being able to travel and everything else. Got another friend who's supported City for about 15 or 20 years, but he hasn't been to many games, and he's another one in the States, so it's not so bad. Where were you? I was in Paris. Some of you guys know I used to live in France. I moved back to Manchester, the Manchester area last summer. Spent 8, 9, 10 years in Paris. So I was actually in Paris on the 3-2. And I remember going up the Champs-Élysées and going around the Eiffel Tower with my kids after we won the league. And my kids, they've got City towels, big, massive bath towels. So they were draped in the bath towels, and you know, we got City flags and stuff. So we made the most of it. Not too many City fans in those days around Paris. Chris has spotted Liverpool for 20 years since 1999. Fantastic. I'm not sure you spotted it the day you popped out, mate. But I've spotted it since, I think, 73, 74, something like that. My cousin was a big City fan. He's 5 years older than me, and he got me into City. I was very, very lucky because the rest of my family sport either United or Liverpool. My dad wasn't great. He didn't spot anybody, but he loved watching good football. So he didn't care who played good football. He loved watching good football on the telly. He was a big, big sportsman, my old man. Very, very good cricketer. Played cricket in the Central Lancashire League in those days in the 60s. Very, very high quality league, playing against the likes of Sir Garfield Sobers and others. I think my dad was good enough to play Test cricket or represent his country. But when he was coming through, there was no money in it. Absolutely no money in cricket. You know, he had to have a proper job. You know, there was no money in cricket in the 50s and 60s really. So he had to pursue a career rather than carry on playing cricket. But my dad was a great sportsman. Played cricket, played hockey, athlete. You know, a lot of running. Best City performance from a City player. It's very hard. Some good ones. Here we go. I mean, King Clancy's done some recent ones. Dzeko's 4 goals against Spurs, fantastic. Aguero's 5 goals against Newcastle, fantastic. Some of Joe Hart's performances against the likes of, I think, Bayern Munich, Real Madrid, Barcelona, whatsoever, keeping us in games when we had no right to be in those games, making saves that we had no right to make. David Silva versus United 6-1, absolute fantastic performance from him. It could have even been better. I think he could have scored another goal. But yeah, we've had some brilliant performances over the years. You know, there's too many to mention. Aguero debut made me realise how good he actually was. Yeah, Aguero, I remember that. My kid was 2 years old. It was his first City game, and he wanted to leave, and I managed to make him stay for the last 2 goals. You know, what can you do? Swansea debut. I loved that game. We knew when Aguero hit that. You know, we knew he had a special player. You know, the way he moved around the box and the way he shot that long-range shot from outside the box, like, hammered into the net. We knew we had some player on our hands. Mark the blue, didn't we all? So I'm going to have just a few more minutes, guys. It's 12:41. I've got a call I've got to take at 1 o'clock. So maybe 10 minutes. My family all blues. Iona Beach, lucky you. My family sport United and Liverpool, but they're plastics, proper plastics. They don't go to the games. They just sport them from afar. To be honest, I've been to more United games than my brother who's a United fan, and my sister who's a United fan, and my other brother who's a Liverpool fan. I've been more times to Anfield than he has. So, you know, I've got a lot of mates who are Liverpool fans who have never been. Live around London, never been to Anfield. I mean, never been to a Liverpool game. It's ridiculous, you know. And people who can afford it, time-wise, money-wise, armchair fans, exactly, Chris. I mean, people can do whatever they like. People can go to games or not go to games. It's entirely up to them. But, excuse me, but try and go to a game. Try and go to a game. You know, especially if you can afford it and you've got the time and the opportunity, go to a game and, you know, be there and really support your team. That's solely my opinion. You know, you can be an armchair fan if you like and be a supporter fan, call it what you wish. But I prefer that people try to go to games whenever possible. Come on, guys, we've got probably 7 or 8 minutes more. If you've got any more questions, get them coming in. I think we'll try and do regular things like this. I live in France, but go at least once a year. So is that Bolito? I hope that your name's right. Whereabouts do you live, Bolito? Whereabouts in France do you live? Always curious because I used to live there just south of Paris. I remember I live in France too. Iona Beach, whereabouts? You say you live in France, so now I'm all curious. I want to know where you live. Just to, you know, I love my geography. I love visiting lots of places around Ile-de-France. Been to loads of places around there. Love the chateaus down in the Loire Valley. Lyon, Iona Beach, it's miles away, but I've got a few people down in Lyon that I know. Guadalise, who would you replace him? Absolutely don't know, Chris. Another Lyon as well. Oh yeah, Andy down in Lyon. Yeah, I mean, I got a few friends in Lyon. Never been myself. Been around nearby when I've been, you know, over the Alps and stuff, and gone to Geneva, and I did some work in Switzerland. Not last Christmas, Christmas before, so we're very close to Lyon, and I love France. You know, overall, you know, there's some bad stuff about France, but a lot of good stuff too. Iona Beach in Lyon. Hey, we're going to get Bolito and Iona Beach together. Matchmakers at Man City Fan TV. I love Lyon. I'd love to be able to go there. Great city, great arts, culture in Lyon. And as I said yesterday, people ask me what I do. I'm an artist, a performing artist, physical artist. I work on the stage and in theatres, and I'd love to go to Lyon to do something nice for a city bag for school as a kid. Came out with an Everton bag, but at least it was blue, mate. At least it was blue. Watch the games, that's how it beats. I believe to Andy, you filmed me in the Wallace pub. Come on, guys, I've got 5 more minutes, 5 or 6 minutes. I've got to go and take this call. Can't miss it. But as I said, we're going to try and do this regularly. Yeah, I thought Lyon had a chance against Barcelona. Even though Barcelona dominated, they were 2-1 down. You know, anything could have happened then. But I think we're going to try and do these regularly. I think maybe Andy might do something tomorrow. I can't do it at this sort of time tomorrow. I'm going to run a workshop tomorrow for, it's a disability group workshop. And some of you know I do a bit of charity work, quite a lot of charity work. And I'm running a workshop for a group of disabled adults tomorrow during the day. So I won't be able to come on easy at this sort of time. But you know, if Andy doesn't do a live stream tomorrow, I might do one later in the day, later in the afternoon, before I go and pick my kids up from school. Might have a little bit of time for that. Come on, guys, 4 more minutes. Keep them coming. Yeah, Andy might want to do one later when he gets home. Yeah, I think, what am I doing? It's a Tuesday, so my Tuesdays are quite full on. I pick my kids up from school, and an hour later, they start their martial arts training. Just the Content Blues, very much arts. Niall, no worries, mate. Andy beats Wallace. But yeah, so my kids, what they're doing tonight, they're doing jiu-jitsu. They've got an hour of jiu-jitsu and then an hour of Muay Thai boxing. And they're getting hard, my little kids. And he was only 10 and 11, but the 11-year-old, he's past my shoulder. And he's been doing 6 months of martial arts. He's doing boxing, he's doing judo, Thai boxing, jiu-jitsu, and he can punch. I tell you what, he can punch. He practices on my belly. I can take it, so it's not so bad. But my brother-in-law, who can't take it, he wasn't expecting it. I think he hit him twice in the stomach. He's a grown man, my brother-in-law. He's in his late 30s. But my son hit him twice, and the guy almost collapsed. So I think my lad's got a bit of a punch on him. My 4-year-old niece is, hey, cheeky, cheeky, cheeky. And I'm not talking Begiristan. I'm not a tall bloke. I'm a wide bloke, but not tall. If we don't win the league, I'm still proud of my team. That's it. You know, always be proud of your team. Don't ever give up on your team. You know, these people who leave early, don't leave because you've given up on your team. Should believe my dad for naming me after Niall Quinn, a guy who just slags off City now. That's a shame, mate. That's a shame. Yeah, Niall Quinn. It's a shame he has a pop at City. He had enough seasons here when Arsenal didn't want him. Let's be quite honest. Arsenal didn't want him. He had enough seasons at City. He was great for us. You know, we loved him here, but we'd like him to say some more nice things about City since he's gone. I think he's more an Arsenal and Sunderland man. Yeah, people leaving at Wembley, Iona Beats. Never give up on your team. You can be 3-0 down, never give up. We were 3-0 down against Spurs in the FA Cup at half-time. Joey Barton sent off, that would have been about 2004 or something like that, 2005. I didn't give up on our team. I thought we weren't going to win, but I didn't give up on them. Had to leave the City Palace game early, had to leave to get to the airport. Yeah, I mean, that's just, you know, it's different. See you, Chris. See you later, mate. It's different if you've got somewhere to be. You've got to get a train, you've got to beat the traffic, you've got to take your kids home because it's a midweek game. That's different. But people actually give up on their team. You know, the Brighton, for instance, the Brighton game, Brighton will play Millwall in the afternoon, so it wasn't a late game. You're not running to get your last train. You got no issues there, and people left about 15 minutes early because they thought the game was done, and Brighton came back and won. And where were these people? On the train on the way home. So, you know, you miss moments like that. Stay, even if you get beat, stay to the end. I knew we would turn it around at exactly BK James. Never give up on your team. Okay? Even if you don't think you're going to win, don't give up on your team. Stick around if you can. But as I say, that's people's own personal preference. They paid the money, they can do whatever they like. You know, I've thought about sometimes going to games where for instance, when midweek games when my kids can't stay out late, and I've thought, shall I go to the game, watch the first half, leave at half time, because then I can get my kids home by 9:15 and still get them into bed at a reasonable time, because my kids don't probably go to sleep till, they don't drop off till 10 o'clock, so that's reasonable. But if I stay till the end and leave with the crowd, my kids are going to get at home far too late. You know, we're going to bed at 11:30. It's too late. So sometimes I've thought about doing that. I've not done it normally, or I just give the tickets to somebody else who goes to the game. Our fans left 5 minutes early when we were drawing in to Everton. Exactly. And that lucky Origi goal. It's moments like that you miss. So it might be only once or twice a season, but if you leave early, you do miss moments like that. Look how many United fans, United fans were leaving the Etihad Stadium last season when we were beating them 2-0 and should have been 5-0 up at half time. United fans left the stadium because they expected a pasting. They came back and won. They weren't there for it. Yeah, you only get 60 minutes of football. You can't leave. You want to, you know, if you're paying 50, 60 quid for a match, why don't you stay to the end if you can? Don't give up on your team. I'll say it again. Guys, 2 minutes, two or three more minutes. The questions are dying down, and so it's going to be time for me to pop off. I'll try and be around when Andy's on. I'll have a chat with him, see what time he might come on live and do some more Q&A, and I'll see if I can moderate whilst my kids are doing their martial arts stuff. But what happens is my kids go from 5 till 7, so 5 till 6 they do, I think it's jiu-jitsu, and 6 till 7 they do Muay Thai, and because I'm there from 5 to 7, I do Muay Thai at 6 as well. See you later, Chris. From 6 to 7, yeah, I do Muay Thai a couple of times a week. Don't do any gambling, Mark. You know, there's no need. Generally, it's a mugs game. That's why there's so many betting companies out there making so much money and doing so many complicated bets to take money off people. That's why I'm dubious when Sky and other people do some rubbish about promoting a manager getting sacked or a manager coming or a player this and that, you know. And sometimes you feel it's just, these stories are just out there to make people bet on them and lose their money. And so, you know, yeah, my opinion, mugs game. I lost hundreds on the World Cup. Oops, there you go, Belito. You shouldn't, you know, it's my opinion. You can do what you like, but it's generally a mugs game. And that's why you got so many bookies who are rich, and you're paying for them to be rich. Last minute, guys. I really have to go, and the questions have pretty much dropped off. If you've got any more questions, save them up for Andy, and you know, let's see if we can do a, you know, I know people have been asking for us to do a live stream together after a game, and we'll try and do that. Exactly, Niall, exactly. You know, you've got to have a bet on to enjoy the football. Behave, you know. I enjoy the football for the football, and that's it. I don't need to be doing anything else. Put in the volume, exactly, now. And you know, they had these terminals where you could bet 100 quid in the betting shops, and people were saying they were making, was it 90% of their profits were from these fixed odds betting terminals, and these machines were emptying people's wallets just like that, and people were losing thousands, and they have no shame making money like that. I'm all for making money, but do it in an honest way. Don't cheat people, and you are cheating people. And you can argue it's their free choice to lose the money. It's not. It's not when you are allowing people to keep on betting when they know, you know, they've got a problem. Giving them freebies when you know they've got a problem, big punters, and to entice them back in. It's wrong, wrong, wrong. You know, I steer well clear of that. Last minute, guys, and I'm gonna go because Andy's gonna do something later. You'll need a good pint. Well, you don't even need that. I mean, I tell you what. Normally, when I watch football, I might have a bag of crisps or some chocolate or some sweets. Them are my things, you know, that I love. I've got a very sweet tooth, and you know, I'll knock off a pack of 5 donuts in you know, 5 minutes on my own. I don't share them around, so you're lucky if I do. Or all 3. I don't know what Andy's talking about, but yeah, Andy has all 3. You know, pints and a pie and a whatever he can get. But I'm a little bit more reserved. Right, guys, gotta go. I've got this call coming in. Thanks a million. It's been great again, and hopefully Andy will be there at 4, and I'll try to monitor and moderate a little bit. Cheers, guys. See you around, Blues.